We're going to bring in now Maine Democratic Representative Chellie Pingree. Representative Pingree, thank you very much for coming to the program this evening. Just your reaction to the news that Robert Card has been found dead.
It's a great relief in Maine. People have been on pins and needles. Schools have been shut down. Cities haven't been operating, both in Lewiston and then in the surrounding areas all the way into Portland, Maine has been a very quiet place. So this is going to give people a lot of relief. It will take away the fear. Hunting season can open tomorrow, which was a big question for a lot of people about whether or not they could be in the woods. But most importantly, the families of those who have who were murdered will have a chance to grieve. People can gather. We can have vigils. There can be funerals. We know how important it is to be with each other in these times of grief. And here's a city that's been really suffering, and no one could get together because they were locked in their homes. So this is a really important moment. And everyone is so grateful for the hard work of all the law enforcement officers from our state and from all over the region and the federal government who've been there to help us.
Congresswoman Pingree, talk about the community that has suffered this horrific mass shooting, yet another mass shooting in America. I mean, I can't remember if I've been to Lewiston, Maine. I've been to Maine, and I know that Maine is rural and beautiful. But I would suspect that Lewiston is a small, close-knit community, and something like this must hit really deeply into the core of the community and the community's image.
Absolutely. I mean, Maine is a small state, and Lewiston is our second largest city, and it's under 40,000 people. This happened at a bar and grill and at a bowling alley, places where families gather. It was teen night at the bowling alley. There were families there. There was a cornhole tournament at the bar and grill, and members of the deaf community were there this particular evening. Everyone knows somebody. Everybody knows everybody. And if you don't live in Lewiston, Maine, you live in some other small town in Maine, and you do exactly the same things on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday night. So this feels very close to home for all of us. As I mentioned, tomorrow is the start of hunting season. We are proud gun owners in our state, and people have lived under this sort of false notion that we have responsible gun ownership, and this kind of thing won't happen here. So this really strikes to the core for this level of shooting to go on, for this to be a military-style assault weapon, not a hunting weapon, not the kinds of things people use in their, when they go out hunting deer tomorrow. This really hits home, and people are saying, wow, we never thought it would happen here, and now our lives will be changed forever.
You know, your fellow member of Congress, Congressman Jared Golden, said to the surprise of many, I believe it was yesterday, that he had changed his mind when it comes to whether assault weapons should be banned, and he thinks that they should be banned. Do you think that this horrific incident will lead to some kind of action on the part of your colleagues there in Congress, in Washington, to do something legislatively? So something like this kind of horror and this kind of pain isn't inflicted on yet another American community.
Well, I remain ever hopeful. I've been in Congress for a while, and I've seen a lot of disappointments around the gun safety legislation that we would hope would pass. We thought after Sandy Hook or after Uvalde or many of the tragic shootings that this would be the one. But there is always a one. There is always a time. The United States can't go on the trajectory that we're on now with the number of mass shootings in vulnerable communities and people not knowing if it's safe to go to church or out to dinner or just to go bowling with your kids. So it will happen. And I think it is significant that my colleague, who never felt he could make this decision before, has decided, I have a different understanding of what this is, and we should move forward. There's always a tipping point. And Maine has been reflective of a lot of states. Northern New England, as I said, we're proud gun owners, and we have a hunting tradition. It's always been a third rail for politicians. Bernie Sanders, others who you think are very liberal in many ways, are afraid to go near the gun issue. issue. And I think that's changing in our country. I think we're going to hear it over and over again in our state now, where this discussion was often taboo, but people are going to say, what are you going to do about it? It came to our state. It can come anywhere. Now's the time to make some real change.
Congresswoman Chellie Pingree, thank you very much for coming to the program this evening.